Hey guys, and welcome to our latest unboxing video. Today we're taking a look at the Michell TechnoDec, and we're going to go through an unboxing and a quick build of this fantastic turntable. So as you can see, it comes really well packaged, and when you open it up, you will see that on the top you have this large piece of foam which basically houses a manual. It is worthwhile taking your time and going through the manual. There is some things in there like a cartridge, a alignment tool, such as you see there, as well as more information. But it is a very good instruction book. It takes you through the full build step by step, as well as the operation process. So it is well worth taking your time when you're building this just to go through the manual and make sure you're doing everything correctly. So when you remove the top layer of foam, as you can see, you have the main turntable deck itself, as well as the motor and all the accessories. So as you can see here, we're just taking out the motor unit. This is your standalone motor unit, which we'll just put to one side for the moment. Underneath this piece of foam, as you can see, you have the main turntable itself. What we have here is the clamp. This is a Michell's own clamp, and it's actually fantastic because it actually works really well if you have any warp records to help straighten those out. This is the main bearing assembly with spindle, and then you basically want to take the turntable itself out. So it's just worth being careful at this point to make sure obviously you don't damage anything. As you can see, the tone arm and cartridge are both pre-installed in this combo, so you do just want to take care lifting it out, and it is quite well assembled as well, so that makes setting up a little bit easier. Following that, we have more accessories and the main platter itself. So what we have here is the Michell Unicover. This is a see-through acrylic cover that basically just sits on top of the turntable. It just helps keep away dust and also gives some protection to the platter and tone arm. So it's well worth having. What we have here is your main power supply unit. As you can see, it's quite a substantial power supply unit, obviously with the UK plug, so that helps keep the noise down, which is always beneficial to getting a better sound from your turntable. Here we have a box of basically all the accessories you need. In there you're going to have belts and oil, etc. So all your parts put together, as well as the box for your Goldring E3 just to have. And then we have the main platter itself. Of course it comes with this blue protective cover just to make sure it doesn't get scratched or marked in the box. So that's the unboxing done. Now let's get it time to get it built. So the first thing you want to do is set your motor unit in place, as the turntable essentially is built around this motor unit. It is a standalone motor unit, which is really good for helping keep vibrations down. Following that, you just want to bring the main turntable plinth across. Just make sure you get it lined up with the motor, and it should all just slot in nice and tight and nice and carefully. Once you've done that, what you want to do next is make sure that the turntable is perfectly level. There is a small spirit level within the accessories pack, as you'll see. We'll just go through it here. So that is your main drive belt. You have your platter clamp, you have your oil and Allen keys, and your tone arm counterweight. So you will have, we'll just set those three to the side for a moment as we don't need them at this stage. And you will get a small spirit level inside the pack. So the first thing of course to check is to make sure that your table is level first, and then just slowly adjust the feet, which just screw clockwise or anti-clockwise until you get the turntable perfectly level. It's really important to take your time to do this to make sure everything is perfectly level, otherwise your cartridge will not track correctly and you could end up damaging it and your record as well. Once you have it perfectly level, it's then time to remove this top cover, as we do need to then begin to install the bearing and put oil in. It's worth taking your time. It is obviously quite sticky, as you can imagine, but this is an acrylic plinth, so obviously it is easily marked and scratched, so it's worth taking your time just to remove this to make sure you don't cause any damage, or mark your brand new turntable, which is nothing worse. So yeah, just take your time to get this off. It is quite sticky, as you can see. So, but once you have it off, you can see you've got this beautiful gloss acrylic turntable beneath. So what you want to do now is actually add your oil. So Michelle recommend putting in about 2 millimeters of oil, which you effectively can do by eye. So just take your time, make sure that you don't obviously spill it or put it around the plinth, because you don't want oil to get under your platter. In that case, you might start your belt from slipping, and things like that, and it just gets a lot more difficult. So just take your time, do it a few drops at a time, keeping an eye on that base level, and just keep working it until you have approximately 2 millimeters of oil at the bottom and around the spindle. And once you've done that, then you just need to slide the bearing on itself. So as you can see, the bearing housing comes with this little cover with your bearing is housed inside, so just be careful with that, and just very carefully and gently slide that over, and that should go in nice and tight and spin really freely after the oil and lubrication. Again, now you have your main platter, you can satisfyingly peel off that top layer, which just makes it nice and easy, and then carefully just slide that over the spindle, and you can give it a quick spin just to make sure everything seems nice and free and loose. Then there's this small platter clamp. This just simply goes over the top. There's a small threaded area, and you just want to turn that on until it's finger tight, just to make sure it keeps the platter in place. Once you have that nipped up nice and tight, you just want to put your belt on. So if you're not used to turntables, this can be a little bit fiddly, but again, just take your time and make sure you don't overstretch the belt, as they can break. But essentially just pop it over the motor spindle and then carefully guide it around the platter. Again, you can give it a spin just to make sure everything's running nice and true and nice and straight, and hopefully then it should just go on nice and simply. Next thing to do is to plug in your power supply. So as you can see at the back of the motor unit, you have a small plug which clicks into the power supply unit. This will come with a click, so you'll know it's securely put in, and then that is you set up. So this is the unit cover. As you can see, it just slides over the top, and as you can see, it protects the main platter as well as the tone arm. And essentially this is the setup done in regards to the turntable itself. As you can see here, this is your tone arm counterweight, so of course you need to remove the unit cover just to get access to the tone arm. You will then, this then screws on. However, you will need to balance this, so make sure that you do balance it and check the cartridge alignment before you go any further with playing the turntable. That all needs to be done prior to operating the turntable itself. Again, the Michelle clamp just sets on and screws tight. This keeps your records and your vinyl really nicely secured. And essentially guys, that is it. Once you have it balanced and the cartridge aligned, this is your brand new TechnoDec finished and ready to play. It's a beautiful turntable with a beautiful design, and again it is available at kronosav.com or in store. Thanks guys for watching, and hope to see you soon.